It's okay. We can just talk about it. This video's on now. It is for the YouTube thing. It's on now. It's recording. Okay.
Oh, there it is. Just so I won't get confused, I'll just...
These are your keys, right?
No.
These are someone else's.
Yeah, you might come in here.
Right here.
Here's one of my many satisfied customers, Josh from San Diego. My family and I moved to San Diego to start a church. I know a thing about real estate. Josh helped us find a beautiful home and negotiated a great price. He always made us stay protected, and he was never pushy. Give me a call and let's talk about our options. No obligation.
My pants keep
619.
falling down. Problem when you run a lot.
Yeah, you probably lost some
When
tons of weight.
you run a lot, you're like wait, this just like just goes away, and you're like wake up and like what happened? All my stuff is not fitting. You know what I mean?
Go to ESPN Jack.
Maybe you should stop running.
No.
Hit up that Verona buffet more
Yeah.
with my family and all that. Hit up that Verona buffet.
Go to Fuller Honda. They are there to help make your Honda dream a reality by bringing you an excellent selection of new Honda vehicles and great service to invest.
So I guess we'll have some long breaks because we're supposed to be on at 12-ish. See which is left and which is right.
I don't know. I didn't even know there was a difference. Oh, it says right here, R.
Yeah, I was looking for that.
It's on the little tab.
The one with the plug, right? Okay.
Vincent, do you
Yeah.
have anybody calling in?
No, sir, no. What?
Push the white button in front of you.
Push the white button?
Push it and talk. The white button.
Oh, right here. How about now, G? I pressed it.
Are you holding the button in?
Yes, I'm holding a button in.
Okay, do you have
Can you hear
anybody
me?
calling in?
No.
Okay.
And what time do we start again? 12 o'clock?
Yeah, you're on in just over a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, when you buy your probes at DXL, you look good. But you feel like a rock star. So if you want to look and feel like a...
What's wrong with this live stream thing?
Waist size 38 and up, all in one awesome store. DXL.
What is that noise? It's all fuzzy.
For every
I don't know if the live stream is not working today. Great.
Get a $25 coupon for June 20th through July 4th.
Do you have friends listening live right now on the radio?
Huh?
They're listening live?
Oh, yeah. But there's this fuzzy on mine.
But by refinancing your mortgage with Quicken Loans, you can save hundreds of dollars each month. Money you can use to shrink those monstrous bills down to a size that's
Is it supposed to be like cloudy sounding?
Call 800-QUICKEN or
Watch
visit
this
us
in.
at QuickenLoans.com. Again, that number is 800-QUICKEN. Buy in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Call for cost
Nothing is
information.
perfect, I guess.
Yeah.
Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS-ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
I don't have my assistant here. I kind of get a little
Expressed on the following
frazzled.
those of the host, sketch,
It's starting in a few minutes.
necessarily those of this its management or otherwise or advertising.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Wow. Who had that lead in?
And good afternoon. This is Vincent Villafranca with Smart Move at ESPN AM 1700. It's going to be a great show today. I have Rosalie Santos Williams.
Hello, Radio World.
Oh,
I'm here.
how are you today,
I'm
Rosalie?
good. Yourself?
I'm doing really great. Rosalie is a commercial insurance broker.
And
For-
I'm with Mainline Insurance. And
for
I've had,
many years.
Yes.
That's good. And how long have you been an insurance broker?
It's been about a good 25 years.
25
It's a lot
years.
of fun. It's a good ride.
What made you choose being an insurance broker? Just
I
wondering.
actually did not choose to become an insurance agent. I was actually going to become an accountant, but I got really bored of numbers, and
Yeah.
I started to work as a receptionist in the State Farm office.
Oh, so when you started at State Farm, No, you were a receptionist, so you weren't thinking of being an insurance
Not
salesman
at
all.
all. I was a full-time student. I was
Right.
going to school. I just had my son, and I just started working.
That's kind of like me because I wanted to be a real estate agent for many, many years, but I started doing this in like 2003, but I was supposed to start it in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
And then I just avoided it because the material was really dry, right? So, but eventually I ended up getting into it and it kind of worked out.
Yeah, it's a good challenge.
So I know you have some of your friends listening, right?
I hope so.
Good. So, as far as your friends, where did you grow up at? Like, where are you from? Who is
I am
Rosalie
from
Santos
Southern
Williams?
California, born in Japan, raised in San Diego. Went to school in Montgomery, junior high, or high school and junior high.
Japan military family?
Yes, my dad's Navy.
Oh, that's unusual for a Filipino, right?
No, not really.
No,
I
I'm
think
just
it's pretty
joking. No,
common.
it's fine. I'm just joking. No, it's not unusual. It's quite normal. I'm in the same situation as you, but everything worked out pretty good.
Yes, the Navy's been very good to us.
Right. So you went to what high school again?
To Montgomery High School.
Oh, interesting. So your family settled there for a little while.
Yes.
And then did you go anywhere else or?
After high school, I was in San Jose. So San Jose, Palo Alto, Cupertino area for about 10 years or so.
Oh, like from 19 to 25,
yeah,
like that?
Or late 90s to early 2000.
For a job? Okay, what'd you go there for?
I met my my significant other, or my ex.
Oh, okay.
And we decided to move there since there was an office everywhere. So that was the easier thing to do.
So there was an office. So you were already at State Farm, or?
Yes, I was already with State Farm.
Oh, so you're
I was with
long-term
them for
State Farm.
15 years.
For
yes.
15 years. And so now you started off as a receptionist, obviously.
Yes.
You said. Now, how long did it take for you to go from receptionist to insurance agent for State Farm? Like,
Probably
what was that? A few
about-
years or?
Maybe about two years. And the whole time I said I hated it, but here I am. I'm still here. I'm still an insurance person.
Now, I got a question. Now, you sell insurance.
Yes.
I obviously sell real estate. Do you look at selling insurance as a job, like you kind of dread, or so it sounds like you really enjoy it?
No, I really love what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge
Me
every
too.
day. As many years as I've been in the business, I'm always learning something new, meeting different people, and the challenges are different every day. It's really exciting.
And then when you sold insurance, now, insurance is a pretty wide field.
Yes, it is.
There's car insurance, commercial. I mean, what type of insurance were you selling at State Farm for that amount of
State
time?
Farm is what we call the personal lines, which is the home, auto, life insurance.
So
for
car
families.
insurance, like
yeah.
car insurance.
Yeah, basically, and then business office policies, but mainly home and auto
Mhm.
for the most part.
Home insurance, they call that hazard insurance, right?
The
Like if a house
mortgage
burns
industry
down.
does, and the real estate people call it hazard insurance.
Hazard insurance.
Yes, but yes, it is.
So basically, hazard insurance, that's if your house basically
For
floods or
floods,
burns down or
earthquake,
something like that.
correct.
Did you also sell what they call earthquake insurance?
Yes, up until the California Earthquake Authority took that over, and that was for the Northridge earthquake back in 1988,
Right.
89 or so. And that whole insurance for the earthquake industry changed.
You know, it's interesting because I own a house in East Chula Vista, and I've never bought hazard insurance. Oh no, I never bought earthquake insurance. But
Yeah,
whenever I
it's
buy
an
my policy,
option.
they always say, "Hey, do you want earthquake insurance?" I'm like, "No," but you know, every year they say they want me to do it. But one time, hopefully, it never happens if there's an earthquake. But remember, weren't there earthquakes in San Diego? Like, was that like 5 years ago? There were some pretty
Yeah,
good ones.
During Easter, actually, yeah.
Right, I remember that.
Mhm.
I was at another real estate office back then. Actually, they're no longer there. I was at Prudential California Realty. This is like 5 years ago. I think it was about 6 years ago. And I remember I was sitting in my chair, and an earthquake happened, and all of a sudden I was like here, and I was like, and I go like, how did I
It's
get here?
super
I moved
scary.
across the room
Yeah.
like about 4 feet,
Yeah.
and I looked up and I didn't. So that it just moved me.
Wow.
And-
That must have been a big jolt.
And then being a realtor, because that was back when all the foreclosures were on the rise, a lot of foreclosures and all that stuff. So the homes that I was selling at that time, there were a lot of bank-owned foreclosures. There was inventory to look at. You know, I could look at a house for $400,000. I could see like 5 of them in Otay Ranch, and I was always looking for earthquake damage. And I never saw any because I think these houses that are the ones that are built now, they're
They're
I guess
all
they're
retrofitted,
Yeah, they're
yes.
retrofitted. All I saw like in the cracks, like where the walls meet like
Right.
this, I saw maybe a crack where the paint just move
Right,
like that.
it's your older homes that's going to show
Right.
the cracks, and that's what you have to be aware of when you are buying a home, or as us, as an insurance person, is to make sure that we note prior damage on those homes if you were doing like the personal lines type of insurance.
Yeah, all these probably these newer houses from the new boom that happened in the early 2000s. I think those should be mostly retrofitted, right, for
Yes.
earthquake. So should we buy earthquake insurance?
It's a decision to
Depending
make.
on the size of the
it's not-
earthquake, right?
It's not cheap, that's for sure,
No,
for
no.
the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember back in the 80s and the 90s when the insurance for earthquake was maybe $500 or $600 for the year for really high coverage. Now you're looking at, gosh, over $1,000 with a high deductible of 15%, and that's offered through the California Earthquake Authority.
Yeah, and they don't earthquake insurance, which you still you sell, right?
I
You
rarely do that portion of it now. I
Right.
do mainly commercial insurance, so that's what my forte is.
Right, right.
So I do commercial business, commercial auto, workers' comp, professional liability, and surety bonds and contractor bonds.
Interesting. So you were at State Farm for 10, 15 years, something like
Yes,
that, right?
15 years.
You must have started when you were 2 years old, right? Or,
Of course I
yeah,
did.
that's what I thought. So you did State Farm from age
You're
2
so
to
kind.
17, right? No, I'm just kidding. You were an adult
Yes,
at State Farm.
I grew up with State Farm.
And then you were selling it. Now you were doing personal lines. Now that was home and auto, but not commercial though, right?
There was some commercial involved, but it's
Mm.
not as entailed as it is now. I mean, it's like State Farm is very conservative in the type of insurance that they do. So
Right.
now I'm in the commercial harder to place risk, and I do that through Mainline Insurance, which is a great company.
Wait, you did harder to place risk? What does
Right
that
now,
mean?
I'm doing hard to place risk, like let's say liquor liability for your bars and taverns that have 50% or more alcohol
Mhm.
than they are receiving for food or entrance fees or anything like that. That a lot of carriers don't like that, so there's specific carriers that you're able to go to for those liquor liabilities.
So I guess those are obviously that's an industry where there are fewer policies than say home or auto, right?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, interesting. So I would imagine a lot of insurance agents aren't trained in that.
It's not that
field.
they're not trained. Some
Right.
of the agents that I do work with that have those companies,
Mhm.
their companies do not allow or they don't like those type of risks. So they refer those companies or that exposure to me, which I'm able to insure.
Now, when you were an insurance agent for State Farm, now though they are known as captive
They're
agents,
captive
right?
agents, yes.
Now, captive agent means what again?
They are specifically appointed with State Farm. They can only sell State Farm products or Allstate products or Farmers products versus if you were a broker,
Right.
then you're able to go with as many carriers as your heart desires.
Now, if you are a broker, not a captive agent,
Mhm.
can you sell State Farm or Farmers products?
No,
You cannot.
no.
So
You
you have,
have to be specifically appointed with those carriers, yes.
those companies that you work with, they do not have captive agents. They're just strictly for brokers.
Correct.
Ah, I'm kind of learning now. Learning. Back when you were an insurance adjuster, when you were an insurance sales rep, I was an adjuster on the
Oh, yeah.
adjusting side for farmers
Mhm.
in the mid '90s. You know, I really didn't like that. No, I should have been a
It's
sales rep
stressful.
like you.
It is very stressful.
I should have been a sales rep. I was with Farmers Insurance, San Diego, and I did auto physical damage for a short time. And auto physical damage is not easy because, you know, you would someone would say, "Hey, my car was stolen," so I do a report and all this stuff.
Right.
And then I got another call. Someone stole my $9,000 car audio system in my car. Really, your $9,000 car audio system? Do you have a receipt? Yeah, I got a receipt.
Ah.
He's like, supposed to be a receipt for $9,000.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. So like, and then I have to go inspect the car
Right.
because if you have a $9,000 audio system, there should be wires running around, right?
Exactly.
You go there, hey, there's no wires. So how'd you hook this up?
Right.
So, but it was just a difficult field. I should have got into, because when I was at Farmers, they said, okay, do you want to be auto, do you want to be liability, or do you want to be property? I should have picked property because that probably would have been more fun. And you know, obviously the damage is there.
Right.
So the damage is there. So I did that for a while, then I ended up, you know, several careers later, I ended up being a real estate agent, and I've been doing this like you for, well,
Yeah,
I've
it
been
takes
doing
a
this
while for you to
13
find
years.
your niche and what you
Right,
like, and you
right.
know, I guess that's the course of life.
Now the challenge. We were talking about challenges earlier. challenges as a captive agent with State Farm, right?
Not just State Farm, but I think just
Well,
with
anyone who's a captive agent.
yes.
Now, what kind of problems did you have? What did you feel like? What you couldn't offer your clients enough products? What was the
Like
problem?
if I wanted to insure a restaurant and then they have liquor exposure or alcohol exposure or delivery exposures,
Right.
those were super hard that I wasn't able to do that as a captive agent.
So what would you do then? Okay,
I would
you
have to refer that out to your broker, which is what I am now.
okay. So now, when you're in that situation, did you offer that product and you feel it wasn't the right product for them, or you just said, "Hey, there's a better product somewhere else"? How would you
Yeah, I
refer
always
them?
put my client's best interest at heart, even though, if they're not able to get a policy through me, I'll send them in the right direction to where they need to go.
Right, right. So that's one of the big problems. I guess it's fewer products to offer, or you being in the industry, you know what products are better for them anyway. So
Right,
you would
yeah,
refer
there's
them out.
like some niche markets that, or appetites that certain carriers have that they cater to.
Okay, so now so did that bring you to become a broker? That made you become a broker because you couldn't offer enough products?
Yeah, it's kind of like a happenstance, it
Right.
was with State Farm, and then all of a sudden I got this offer to work with the brokerage, which was excellent.
Oh, okay.
And so that was an excellent opportunity. And so in the personal lines, we called it the dark side. So it was a little bit harder and more challenging. Do you want this one?
No, I have one. I just drank
We're
the
trying
water.
to get water here.
I just drank someone else's water. I have no idea
Oh my
whose water this was.
gosh,
But
germs.
okay, so your industry it pretty much it parallels the lending industry
Mm-hmm.
because say I worked for a bank, I worked for Wells Fargo, I worked for B of A. It's like you work for State Farm, you work for Farmers. You sell your products,
Right.
and you can't sell anybody else's
And
product.
some of my biggest clients were real estate agents
Right.
and mortgage brokers because in order for you to close escrow and go through that whole
Mm-hmm.
process, you need hazard insurance in order for you to close escrow. So I would provide the homeowner's insurance or whatever it was that they needed to close escrow.
So, when I was a lender, so I would sell my product, right?
Mhm.
And then if I knew there was another product out there, obviously I could say, hey, there's a better product out there, but obviously I wouldn't make a commission, right? So that brought me into I was a mortgage broker as well.
Okay.
So I did the same thing. I went from a captive loan officer or whatever, becoming a broker. So I did the same thing you did. And that brought me to go into real estate. But
And
so
you're much happier now, right?
oh yeah, I've been doing the real estate full time. I got my license in 2005. It's been 11 years. And so I did my last loans maybe 2007,
Mm-hmm.
but I got into real estate full time in 2006. But I was licensed longer. But it just kind of ended up by default that I enjoyed doing it, and it actually happened. So when we come back from the break, we're still going to be sitting here with Rosie Santos Williams over here at Mainland Insurance Services. If someone wants to reach you for an insurance quote, what's the number where they can reach you at?
They can either reach me on my cell at 619-948-8368 or the office line at 888-467-6612.
And you have
25 years of experience.
She has, that's Rosie Santos Williams. She has 25 years experience as a commercial insurance broker. You could reach her directly at her number at 619-948-8368. And her office is located in San Diego.
Yes,
So-
downtown Chula Vista to be exact.
And we'll be right back. We're going to be talking about a lot of insurance. We'll talk about business owners policies, professional liability, and liability insurance coverages as we go and get more in depth into the products that she carries. We'll be right back. Oh,
Oh
you
my
surprised me,
gosh.
dude.
What's happening?
Here's the man right behind me.
Hi there, I'm Tim.
Nice to meet
Nice
you,
to meet
Ms.
you.
Lee.
What's happening?
I'm doing good.
That's like,
Someone sneezed right there.
oh, yeah.
So this is Rosie Santos Williams. She's a commercial insurance broker. She knows everything.
No.
Right there on the.
Oh,
I saw him here and then I drank someone else's water. I have no
okay, yeah,
idea.
but that's why I kept looking around. It works only 1 minute.
Did we sound okay? There was no.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, thanks. So what's up, Jim?
Not much. I just stopped by.
Good, thanks for
I'm in
coming
the
by.
area.
You're always coming here.
No,
Are you
well,
gonna sit down and talk about insurance?
no. I'm back in San Diego for good now, though.
Oh, where were you before?
You're moving here?
Yeah, I'm going through a big divorce.
Oh my gosh, that's
You
horrible.
just got married, didn't you?
2.5 years ago, yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, that's okay though. Is this over here for a reason?
No, I just threw it there.
Okay.
That's crazy. Tim. You just
Oh
got
my
married.
god, my apologies for you.
That's all
Sometimes I
right.
give them a sympathy card or it's a
No, we're both-
congratulations card.
Actually, you know, we're both okay.
Oh, we're on. And we're back. This is Vincent Villafranco over here at Smart Move Real Estate, AM 1700 ESPN. I'm sitting here with Rosie Santos Williams, a commercial insurance broker for many years, very highly experienced. Off the top of your head,
Uh-oh.
off the top of your head, you've been doing this for a while.
Yes.
How many insurance policies have you sold?
Oh my gosh.
No, not. We're not gonna hold you to it. Like,
I can't even hold myself
500?
to this right now. I don't know.
how many
No,
do you do
more
a
than
month?
that.
How many do you do a month? Just wondering. Not exact. Just
Can't count.
say 10,
More,
20 a month.
possibly. Yeah,
So 30 policies a month.
possibly.
So 30 times 12 times 10, 15, a lot of, she's done a lot of policies. So I just wanted
a
to
lot
get
of
that out
weird
there.
ones too. I love that the real big challenges.
Well,
the
what-
hard to place ones.
What makes an insurance policy more of a challenge or more difficult? Is it the scenario you're involved in, or?
It depends on what my client does. Like right now, I'm targeting our artisan contractors, like the roofers, the electrical contractors, landscapers.
For new builders or
Yeah, for either
for
new
remodelers?
builders, remodels, anything. So they're generally the general building contractors that I target, or the
Oh.
restaurant owners. And if they say that they're cutting into concrete or they're building swimming pools, that poses a little bit more of a risk. Or if they're on the roof,
So wait, a swimming pool on the roof?
no, not on the roof.
I've seen that, like on $1 Million
I
Listing or
have,
so.
yeah. So yeah, Andaz actually, Andaz Hotel has a swimming pool roof.
Like on the, like, or like if you go to Vegas, they'll have the pool on the 5th floor
Yeah, the pool
or
party,
the 3rd floor. That's really cool. But you know, I would never do that though.
If you have a lot of money, I think you can.
Yeah, but I'm ab challenged, so I won't. I will never do that.
You'll put a treadmill, huh? You'll be ready.
Even with a
You'll
chat,
do your marathons.
if you have to have like like 6 months of salad or something like that. And whatever, but that's a whole different story. But again, I'm sitting here with Rosie Santos Williams, commercial insurance broker, in the industry for quite a long time. Now, now we already talked about the problems that a captive agent has. So there are many problems that you've seen, like
Well,
fewer
not problems, but just challenges.
fewer products is the biggest challenge,
Yes,
right? Because you
yes.
don't you may have know of a better product, but you just can't sell to them,
Correct.
and you don't have it.
Correct.
And you can offer them a product that's you know subpar for their situation. So, being an insurance broker, now I would imagine you have to do more research, right? A
For
little
sure,
more research.
yes, because every company that I do work for, as far as the carriers or the bonding companies,
Right.
they do have different underwriting guidelines that the client has to meet, and we have to be familiar with those underwriting guidelines. Like, for example, if I'm insuring a contractor, I have some carriers that will not do new residential or no new ground-up construction.
So they're all nichey. Like we do this, and
Yeah.
we do nothing else.
Yes,
we do
exactly.
this.
So we have to be familiar with who we're going to place our client with,
Sure.
and make sure that, hey, if something happens, if they poke a pipe with a nail or anything like that, that there's going to be coverage for that.
Right, right. Now, one of the types of insurance that we were talking about that your company that you broker out is professional liability insurance, right?
Correct.
Now, as we talked about earlier, now that's for like, is that like malpractice insurance, like for a doctor,
Somewhat,
or
yes. It's
What's
it's
an
called-
example
it's,
of that?
Professional liabilities is also known as E&O, or errors and omissions.
for real estate agents? Is
Yeah,
that what that
exactly.
is? So you do
Exactly.
E&O insurance
Yes,
for?
I do that
Oh,
also,
interesting.
yes.
I've never met an insurance E&O person. This is
Really?
the first one ever.
Wow.
No, so you do E&O insurance for
Yeah.
realtors and also for doctors too, lawyers.
Myself,
Oh.
an agent. Yeah, so anybody that, the difference between commercial general liability and professional liability is
Right.
if you were giving advice versus doing something physical.
And advice is the professional liability one.
Yes, exactly.
Like if I say as a real estate agent, I say, hey, you buy this house, you're gonna make $100,000 in equity in 2 months.
Right.
That's like not true,
That's
and that's
not,
so
yeah.
I can maybe get sued or just for
Possibly,
saying
yeah.
something that doesn't make any
So
sense.
do you want to sell me a house and say that I'm going to make $100,000 equity, like, and then
No.
we're on the radio now?
No, I'll sell you a house, but what we could do is you'll make that possibly over the long term.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can meet at 5 o'clock and get you pre-qualified. I can meet you, whoever you want to buy a house with, and no, I'm,
Okay.
I'm just joking. But if you want to do that, we can do that. So professional liability. Now for a doctor, now in your situation, have you ever handled a claim for a doctor? Just, I was wondering about that.
For a doctor, not so much, but I have heard. I mean,
Real
most of the
estate
people
agents?
that I do insure, they're great. They're professionals. So I
Yeah.
haven't heard of
Perfect.
any claims regarding a doctor. Although I have heard of like molestation, physical abuse, or yeah, those type of situations. So that's also entailed in your professional liability policies.
Yeah, I saw, I guess on Facebook or whatever, there was a doctor that was making people go to sleep and doing weird things or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a dentist. I was a dentist.
Yes.
But that was like on the East Coast or something
scary.
like that. Yeah, because I
We
don't,
have
I
a
wouldn't want
crazy world. I don't know about these people.
any kind of surgery. Like say, like if I had to go to surgery for my arm, I'd say, you're not putting me to sleep. I'll just, go ahead.
You're gonna go with it, huh?
Yeah, go ahead and cut me open, and I'll just watch you.
You're
like
gonna be
this.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Arnold
Just take it.
Schwarzenegger sans abs. Sans abs
I'll
meaning
be
without
that.
abs. But yeah, I wouldn't want to go to sleep for anything,
Yeah.
for surgery. But unless it was like life or death. But if
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I broke my arm in the
Mhm.
5th grade, and then my arm was really.
How did you break it?
I flew off a swing pretending I was Superman. Straight up. I just jumped like this, and I thought I was
Nice.
actually gonna fly. And then I broke my arm. My arm was just it was broken. It was messed up. And then the doctor says something like, "Now we can give you a shot, and
We can give you a shot.
it'll slowly go back into place, or we can just pull it." I said, "Pull it!" And he says, and then he says on 3. He goes 1, 2, and he pulled it like a second before, but then he pulled it and he put it into place like that, and I was like, "Okay, good." And just now he put a cast on it and I was gone. But
Oh, really?
just quick and dirty and no shots, just pull it.
And
pull it.
100% recovery, and you don't feel no issues with it?
No, it was 5th grade.
Okay.
So but then I learned not to jump off a swing set.
Yeah.
I didn't,
That was a lesson learned for sure.
Now stopping bullets, I might be able to do that, but
Faster
but
than the locomotion.
Yeah, I will just do this like on like a Lois and Clark, and we'll see if I do that one of these days. But I'm not sure, but it might not work.
You're so funny.
Now I have a question. Now, professional liability, doctors, you do that type of insurance. So
Yes.
I would imagine your biggest clients would be like hospitals or individual doctors.
It can be both. It just depends on the practice for the doctor.
Mm.
So it's how many doctors are in their particular practice.
So you would handle a group of doctors versus one, or you would do
It
both?
just depends on the situation.
Oh.
Sometimes there's groups of doctors, and sometimes there is one doctor.
So that would be a
Yeah.
pretty cool client. Say,
Yeah.
hey, I have a group of 90 doctors. We all need
That'd be
policies.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That would be really, really cool. Now business owners policy. Now you sell those to businesses. Now those are policies where they're not communicating, where those are slip and falls or negligence,
Slip and
that sort of thing.
falls, it's actually a whole package policy. So you
Right.
have practically everything in there. You have your liability to help you from the slip and falls,
Right.
the tool
Negligent
coverage.
stuff.
Yes, the negligent stuff. You have the medical.
Mm-hmm.
Also for the premises liability. So let's say you sold somebody a property, and then
Mm-hmm.
they're renting it out to somebody. That person
Right.
that's renting from the property owner needs to provide premise liability.
Premise liability.
Yes.
Now they don't always do that though, huh?
Not all the time.
Yeah. Say someone's renting
I've
out
had
a room.
situation. Yeah, I've had a situation where building owner rented to this one smog company, and they had a fire,
Right.
and it didn't cover the landlord because they did not have any premise liability on there to protect themselves.
I remember when I don't know if in the mid 2000s when you'd have one person that owns like 6 houses. That was typical in San Diego.
Yeah.
I own a rental property here. I'm pretty sure those weren't all renter policies that they had on each of their homes, right?
Some of them, it depended on their mortgage because,
Right.
or how they set up the loan, because a lot of them had to be owner occupied in
Yes.
order to qualify for loans. So
Yes.
some of them that were rental dwellings but were sold as owner occupied, so those were a little
Right.
sticky. But we had to make sure that we were insuring it correctly. Whether the mortgage company said, "Hey, this is a
Based on what the homeowners disclosed to you.
right."
Because if they don't disclose it, you're stuck.
Right. So, but we're field underwriters, so we have to dig for those questions to make sure that we're insuring it correctly, because it falls back on us,
Mhm.
not just by what you said, but back on what our investigation was.
I remember when I owned a property, say 10 years ago, my first property or second property, and then I then I used it as a rental, and then I bought another house, right? Now, when I told the Walmart, well, I don't say the name, but whatever insurance company I was using, and I said, hey, this house is now a rental.
Right.
All of a sudden, the policy goes from $700 a month to like $1,300.
Yeah, because you have a bigger exposure. You're not
Right.
the homeowner. You're not there to watch your property every day. You have people that you don't know that's going to be coming in and out of the house. So there is a
Right.
possibility that, especially if you have a pool or if they have dogs, that's a higher risk for liability for them to get injured and sue you.
I remember we had fires.
Yeah, back in like
Was it
the
2000? 2000 what? A big fire. When was that? 2004, 2005?
I want to say around that time, yes.
I remember I live in.
That was a huge catastrophe.
Yeah, the fire. I forget what year it was, but it was a bad one. And I live in way East Chula Vista, and back then we were living in. Me and my wife were living in San Miguel Ranch, and the fire was already coming from East County and towards my house, and part of East Lake,
Yeah, you could see
it was already on fire.
It's scary. I saw that, yes.
Yeah, and I was just waiting for my house to burn down. I mean, because
I'm sure you checked your policy first, right?
well, because my backyard was the open field already, and I was waiting for. And then what we did was, I took my wife and kids away. And said, "Hey, we just flew to Vegas, right?"
Mhm.
And then and I was like, waiting. Okay, my house is about to burn down. And I took out all my belongings and that sort of thing. But it didn't burn down. So, but then we stayed in Vegas for about a week,
Oh, wow.
and my house didn't burn down. But what was funny was that was when mortgages were really high. So I was like, if it burns down, cool, because that's when everything. Whenever they owed giant mortgages,
Yeah.
like if it burns down, hey, it's not
That's
my
when they had
fault.
to also, during the time, also switch the policies too, because
Yes.
then they had replacement costs. Well, I think it was back in the earthquake time, back in
2000.
1998.
Yeah, okay,
1998,
okay.
they had to do replacement costs or something like that. Whereas because when there was a
Replacement cost
need-
versus build cost?
yes,
Oh.
so different, because somebody knowing that the homeowner is in distress and that it was hard to come by a piece of 2x4 that costs maybe $15 per foot,
Mhm.
just for example,
Now it's
is
$30
now
bucks.
$100.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember when they were doing all this building in East Chula Vista,
Mm-hmm.
the builders were talking about a concrete shortage. I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
A shortage on so that was raising the cost of all the new constructions because concrete was getting expensive. That's weird. I don't even know what concrete's made of, but they said there was a shortage because there was so much building.
What is concrete
Everywhere.
made of? That
I
might
have
be
no
a
idea.
question.
You just put it in some solution, water, and then it gets hard and you walk on it. I have no idea but there was a shortage of concrete.
Huh.
But so back when we come back, we're having a great conversation here
Yes.
with Rosie Santos Williams. If anyone wants an insurance quote for a business, and how can they reach you again, Rosalie?
They can contact me on my cell at 619-948-8368 or in the office at 888-467-6612. And can I have a shout out for my boys, Christopher and Nicholas? Hello.
Oh, Christopher Nichols.
Yes,
Oh, your
those are my
boys.
boys, yes.
Oh, interesting. Are they in San Diego or?
No, my younger son is in Pleasanton right now,
Oh,
and
okay.
my older son is here in San Diego, yes.
Oh, they all grew up in SoCal or?
Yes, we were in San Jose for a while.
Okay. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about a lot more things, liability insurance coverage. We will talk about business owners policies, and we will talk about the BRG group,
Yes,
started
sir.
by our friend.
Christopher Butcher.
Christopher
it's actually
Butcher.
part of the National City Chamber of Commerce, which is run by Jacqueline Reynoso. And
Which I'm a member of. I just joined, so I'm officially
Yes,
part of the Chamber of
congratulations.
Commerce.
Yes.
And so we'll be back when we'll talk about Chris. Let's talk about Chris Butcher and how awesome he is specifically.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
just do that. And how awesome you are, and then we'll talk about
Thank
your
you.
insurance and all that stuff. And we'll be right back in a couple of minutes.
Oh my god, that was good. What do
We're
you
almost
think?
done.
Really?
No,
Oh,
actually
wow.
another 20 minutes. It's going by well. Really, really well.
Good, good. I'm glad. I thought
So,
I'd be so much more nervous. I'm not sure what to but yeah.
no, I try to say dumb things to,
No, no, you're
to
good.
like
You're not
break
dumb.
the ice. Did that come off as being dumb? But, to make it more, so we'll talk about business owners policy. We'll be talking about that a little bit. Liability insurance. Whose water is that?
I have no idea. I'm like, I lost my cover here.
I drank someone else's water. I hope that person doesn't have any illness.
Drink alcohol.
The NBA is the league that gave us
I'm trying to put the link on here. Let's see.
dying alone is reason
God, I need to throw this in this water.
transparent when it comes to officiating in every way possible. And the officials should shut up and deal with it. Time down the road.
We're talking about we'll be back with Rising Star.
Yeah.
The Husky 6
No, I'm just kidding.
Now just $99 at the Home Depot. You save $50. It has all steel construction, 6 lockers.
Oh, they said 1 minute.
Bearing slides, and something Dad hasn't seen for a long time. Lots of room. The Husky 6-drawer chest and cabinet combo, just $99. Father's Day savings now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. About through June 22nd, U.S. only.
Colonel Sanders here to tell you that the two-piece KFC $5 fill-up is a real meal for just $5. And the chicken pot pie KFC $5 fill-up is a real meal for just $5. And the KFC $5 fill-up is a real meal for just $5. And the chicken breast KFC $5 fill-up is a real meal for just $5. And the tenders KFC $5 fill-up is a real meal for just $5.
So you do a lot of workman's comp, right?
Yes.
Oh, let's talk about that one. Is that one you like?
Okay. Yeah, we can do
Workman's comp.
And then if I give you that base.
And we're back. This
Hey,
is
that's a
Vincent
good
Villafranca. This is Vincent Villafranca with Smart Move on AM 1700 ESPN. And I'm sitting here with Rosie Santos Williams, a commercial insurance broker with Mainline Insurance Services with many, many years experience. And she's done, I'd say, thousands of insurance policies. Is that about right? Over the
Over the
short
course
term,
of
you've been-
25 years.
over the course of
yes.
25 years? You started at age 2, like we were talking
Of
about earlier.
course,
Okay.
yes.
She's having her 28th birthday next month at
Partay.
Rising Star. Shout out to my good
Oh,
friend
yeah, they're
Jose
a lot
Del
of
Rosario and Marissa Del Rosario, the Del Rosario crew at Rising Star.
Love them. They're so awesome.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, workman's compensation insurance. You do that type of insurance as well, right?
Yes.
Now, how do you define what exactly is workman's comp? Because you are an expert at that.
Workman's comp insurance is if you have employees, you need to cover your employees for any work that they may do where they could injure themselves. And by law, you have to have workman's comp if you have employees.
Now, what if you have one employee and it's yourself? I know it's
Then you would exempt yourself. Yeah, you're
I'm
exempt
exempt.
from having to do that.
So if I have more than one employee, I
Yes.
should have workman's comp.